Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, Chapter 9, The Appearance of Demon Vritrasura, verse number 50. Swayam Nishreya Samvidvan Navatyajnana Karmahi Narate Roguve Partha Vanchatopi Bhishaktamaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A pure devotee who is fully accomplished in the science of devotional service will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him in such activities. Such a devotee is like an experienced physician who never encourages a patient to eat food injurious to his health, even if the patient desires it. Purport. Here is the difference between the benedictions awarded by the demigods and those awarded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Devotees of the demigods ask for benedictions simply for sense gratification, and therefore they have been described in Bhagavad Gita 7.20 as bereft of intelligence. Kamaistestir ritagyanaha prapadyante anya devataha tam tam niyamam asthaya prakritya niyata swaya. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires, surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Conditioned souls are generally bereft of intelligence because of profound desires for sense gratification. They do not know what benediction to ask. Therefore, non-devotees are advised in the Shastras to worship various demigods to achieve material profits, to achieve material benefits. For example, if one wants a beautiful wife, he is advised to worship Uma or goddess Durga. If one wants to be cured of a disease, he is advised to worship the sun god. All requests for benedictions from the demigods, however, are due to material lust. The benedictions will be finished at the end of the cosmic manifestation, along with those who bestow them. If one approaches Lord Vishnu for benedictions, the Lord will give him a benediction that will help him return home back to Godhead. This is also confirmed by the Lord himself in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham sadada yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna instructs a devotee who constantly engages in his service how to approach him at the end of his material body. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. This is the benediction of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. After giving up his body, a devotee returns home back to Godhead. A devotee may foolishly ask for material benedictions, but Lord Krishna does not give him such benedictions despite the devotee's prayers. Therefore, people who are very attached to material life do not generally become devotees of Krishna or Vishnu. Instead, they become devotees of the demigods. Kamaistester hritagyanah prapadyante anna devataha. The benedictions of the demigods, however, are condemned in Bhagavad Gita. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavati alpamedhasam. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are temporary, are limited and temporary. A non-Vaishnava, one who is not engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is considered a fool with a small quantity of brain substance. So, these are the words being spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Hari, Vishnu, Narayana, and his Vishnu form. Lord has appeared after being pleased with the prayers of the Devatas. The Devatas offered, headed by Indra, all the Devatas offered very nice prayers to the Lord. And when the Lord was pleased and satisfied by their prayers, the Lord appeared. And when the Lord appeared and asked them, I have appeared, please ask me what you want to ask. I'm ready to give you, satisfy your desires. At that time, the Devatas, instead of asking for pure devotional service, they asked for the annihilation of the demon Vritrasura. So the Lord, because they did not ask for pure devotional service, although the Lord had personally appeared and asked only for a material desire, that is protection of themselves, and to protect them from the demon, it is considered to be a material desire because this is, the Lord knows it, and the Lord knows how to protect his devotee. Just like a father always knows how to protect his child. The child doesn't have to ask the father, Father, please protect me. That's a foolish ask of the child. The child will say, Father, I wish to love you. How can I love you? I want to always remain as an obedient child of yours. Please tell me what I should do. These are the kind of prayers the child should ask. So because they did not ask this, the Lord says that your asking for a material desire and not asking for devotional service is very unintelligent. In the material world, the general conception that people have is go to the temple or even anywhere, especially going to the temple, and then they submit a list of prayers or a list of their desires to the Supreme Lord, protection from this, annihilation of this. So all that we ask from the Lord are all desires or all prayers aimed at fulfillment of my personal desires, personal wishes. If you have any problem, if you have any issues, ask God and God will satisfy your desires. That is what God is meant for. But no. The only thing to be asked from God is give me loving devotion to your lotus feet and nothing else. There should not be, Lord is not, as Prabhupada says, he is not the order supplier. Lord is the order giver. And we are supposed to execute his orders. Not that I give orders to the Lord, Lord give me this, Lord give me that, Lord protect me from this. That means you're making God as your order supplier. But no. Lord, how can I serve you? We are spirit soul. We are all seeking after happiness. And the soul's happiness is only in serving his master. Just like we are, the servant's happiness lies only in serving the master. Imagine a situation, we understand we are all parts of Krishna and our relationship with Krishna is servant and the master. We are the servant, Lord is the master. Imagine the servant has come to serve the master. And instead of serving the master, asking the master, Master, how can I please you? You're standing right in front of me. The servant tells the master, okay, Master, sir, you please do this. You please do that. You give me this. Isn't it craziness? The master will think something wrong with the servant. Instead of taking orders from me, he's ordering me. And this point, very nicely, Krishna brings it out with two examples. One in the previous verse and one in this verse, of how foolish and how unintelligent it is to go and ask the Lord material desires. In the previous verse, the example is given. If a child is asking the mother, Mother, please give me poison, will the mother give? No. So the child doesn't know that I'm asking poison from the Lord, from my mother. So this is the example used to explain asking the Lord for material desires is nothing but asking for a cup of poison. And in this example, another similar example, the other example is given that an experienced physician will never tell his patient to eat food which is injurious to his health, even if the patient is desiring, because the patient is in ignorance. He doesn't know what is good for him, what is not good for him. He is asking for eating, he is asking for something that will further injure his health, that will further injure him. So the physician will never give anything to him. And so here in that verse it is said that a fully accomplished pure devotee or the Guru or Krishna will never instruct a person to engage in fruitive activities, forget about satisfying his material desires. He will not even tell him to engage in fruitive activities. Will never instruct a foolish person to engage in fruitive activities for material enjoyment, not to speak of helping him in such activities. How can I help? You want to engage in fruitive activities and you're asking for my help? You should not even do it. There's no question of me helping you, because if I help you, it's like I am giving you a cup of poison, or I am giving you food that will not help you to recover, rather your health will worsen. So we must remember that these are the examples that is being given here. So here, the Lord is talking of exclusive devotional service to Him from the Devatas. And nothing else should be your goal of life. Why are you asking me all these things? So in one of the previous verse, in the same chapter, the Lord He's telling this to Indra and all the Devatas, Mai ekanta matir na anyam. Mai ekanta matir. You're asked, or you should, now that I have appeared in front of you, Mai unto me, ekanta matir, your intelligence should just be fixed on me. And you should not ask anything. And that is what satisfies me. Kunti Maharani is also praying something very similar. Tvai me ananya vishaya matir madhupate asakrit ratim udvatad adha gange vaugham udanvati. Tvai me ananya vishaya. My Lord, this is exactly what Kunti Maharani is asking, what the Lord is instructing them here. That let my attention, matir, my attention, mati, tvai me ananya vishaya, only be fixed on you, and ananya vishaya. Anya vishaya means diverting somewhere else, but ananya vishaya means not diverting anywhere. Matir madhupate asakrit. Asakrit means continuously. My attention should be towards you, not getting diverted towards anything else. Ratim udvahatad adha. And so, Ananya Vishaya, Asakrit, Twai me Ananya Vishaya, Matir Madhuprate, Asakrit, Ratim Udbhatad Adha. Means directly. So my attention, so it's a very wonderful prayer. We chant this many times during a morning program. That this, at least we should desire like this. Our ask should be like this. Lord, let my attention be fully focused on you, undeviatingly, without diverting to anything else, continuously and directly. And the example is given, just like the Ganges is continuously, without a pause, even for a second, is constantly flowing towards the ocean. So let my mind also constantly flow towards your lotus feet. This is what the Lord is instructing all the devatas here. In the purport, Prabhupada writes that this is the difference between the benedictions awarded by the devatas and the benedictions awarded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God is also wanting to give us some benediction. It's not that that Supreme Lord Krishna doesn't give us any benediction, but his benedictions are different. He can benedict us with pure devotional service. So we should not settle for anything less. Settling for anything other than pure devotional service from the Supreme Personality of Godhead is like, as the example Prabhupada gives, a person who has pleased the king, and the king asks that person, I'm very pleased by your service, like Krishna appeared, being pleased by the prayers of the devatas. Now ask me what you want. And this person asks the king, give me a pinch of ashes. His ask should be from the king, King, you are satisfied with me. You're asking me what I want. Give me half your kingdom. That should be the prayer. King will give, because king is asking, you ask what you want, I'll give you. King cannot go back on his words. But he's asking a pinch of ash. So, asking God for material desires is asking like this. So that is why here it is said that if you have material desires, and Prabhupada writes in the purport, generally you don't see many devotees of Lord Krishna, but you see devotees of other devatas. Because to get this knowledge that pure devotional service is the only goal of life, it is not so easy to understand. Pure bhakti is very, very rare. And it is very, very rare. People don't understand. But actually, pure bhakti is the only goal of life. Any other goal is not a goal at all. It is like drinking a cup of poison. Just see the comparison. That is why here in this prayer, in this verse, Krishna is writing, he's using this word, Nishreyasam, Swayam Nishreyasam Vidwan. Vidwan means one who is intelligent or one who is accomplished in devotional service. What will he benedict with? Nishreyasam. Nishreyasam means Shreyas. Shreyas means what is really beneficial. Shreyas and Preyas. Preyas means immediate benefits, immediately satisfying my material desires. That will not sustain, because these immediate desires are meant for the body is anyway going to end. But Shreyas means that which will ultimately stay with me forever. Like if somebody gives you something, okay, you take this, some money or some wealth or something, enjoy it for 1 minute and return it back. You can't enjoy anything for 1 minute. So similarly, we want something that will stay with us permanently. And since I am eternal, I am an eternal spirit soul, I must hanker for that which will stay with me forever. Labdhva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante manushyam arthadam anityam apidhira. In this verse also this word nishreyasa comes. So the Bhagavatam instructs us that Labdhva sudurlabham. We should attain for that which is sudurlabha, which is very, very difficult to attain. But that, Labdhva sudurlabham idam bhavu samvante. This verse means Labdhva sudurlabham. We have attained this human form of life, which is very, very difficult to attain. It is not so easy because after 84 lakh species of life, this human form of life has been attained. Any other species of life, cats, dogs, animal, insect, very easy to attain. But this human form of life, very difficult to attain. So after attaining this human form of life, which is so precious, so difficult to attain, what should we do? That means this life, if it is difficult to attain and I've got it, it has a special purpose. Idam bahu sambhavante manushyam, this human form of life, arthadam, anityam api dhiraha. Arthadam, this human form of life can actually satisfy your desires. Arthadam. Arthadam means it can give you your ultimate goal of life. So what is this arthadam? There are two ways to understand arthadam. Artha means, in simple terms, artha means money. Money making. Everybody is after this arthadam in this material world, in this life. I want to make money, I want to make money, I want to make money, because if I have money, I have all the happiness. But no, there's another meaning of arthadam. And that is, you acquire. Artha means acquiring something. So it's not money that we have to acquire here in the material world. Money, Krishna has arranged for us. Everything. Money is required for eating, sleeping, whatever money is required for our basic necessities, all that will be supplied. Even if I got a lot of money, I cannot do more than, I cannot eat more, I'll fall sick. And, I cannot satisfy my desires beyond a point. So that money making, what we need, is already satisfied, is already given by Krishna. But the real arthadam that we must be hankering after is, I want Krishna. I want him. I want his bhakti. That is the real arthadam that we should be hankering after. Arthadam anityam apidhiraha, and you should do anityam apidhira, and this human form of life, very rare but very short-lived. So we do not have much time to perfect my life, to achieve the highest goal of life, love of God, which can free you from the cycle of birth and death. You have very little time, anityam. So we must utilize every moment of this life very carefully. Anityam apidhi, that's in the third line it is said, Turnam yateta na pate anumrittu yavad. So Turnam yateta. Turnam means very quickly. Please do not delay in surrendering to Krishna, in rendering pure devotional service, because every moment that you're delaying, you're losing out a lot. When we are going to leave this body, nobody knows. Turnam and yateta. Yateta means we must we must quickly endeavor to achieve that ultimate goal of life. Turnam yateta na pated anumrittu yavad. Because any moment we can die, this human body is destructible, it can be destroyed any moment. Nishreyasaya. We should endeavor for this arthadam, this nishreyasaya, this achieving pure devotional service or rendering pure devotional service. Nishreyasaya vishaya khalu sarva. And this material gratification for which you are taken, this human life is not for material sense gratification. That is available even to the dogs, cats, and all the 80 lakh species of life. Sense gratification is available. So an intelligent human being should think, I've taken this human form of life and I'm doing the same thing which I did in my other species. Then what's the difference between a human form of life and an animal life? There's no difference. They're also eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Here also eating, sleeping, mating, defending. It makes absolutely no sense. So nishreyasaya, this is what, and very nicely the Prabhupada translates in the synonym. Nishreyasaya means the supreme goal of life, namely the means of obtaining ecstatic love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada writes in one more place that Krishna doesn't want to satisfy your material desires, but material things we can get, but bhakti is not so easy to get. Bhakti is very, very difficult to get, and that is the only thing we should aspire for in this life. So we should be very careful that in this life my prayer to the Lord should be only pure, not even an iota of material desires should be there in the heart, should be there in my mind, and it should come out verbally. Chanakya Pandit, he has said that if you want to enjoy this material world, you should think you are going to live forever, although that is not the fact. But if you want to be serious about spiritual life and go back to Godhead, then you should have one consciousness in your mind. And what is that consciousness? What is the thinking you must have? I may die at any moment. And this human form of life is meant to perfect your life to achieve pure devotional service. That's why even this verse in the Bhagavatam is saying, Turnam Yateta. You have to, not only have to endeavor, do it very quickly. Do not delay. Because when we are going to die, we have no idea. Again, am I going to get a human form of life? I don't know. So now is the opportunity. If not now, then when are we going to do it? So further, Prabhupada writes in the purport, conditioned souls are generally bereft of intelligence because of profound desires for sense gratification. They do not know what benediction to ask. So our benediction, we should be so strong in devotional service. Here we see an example. Indra, Lord has come and he's asking for material desires. Indra is asking, and the Lord is rebuking them in a way. Another side we see an example in Mahaprabhu's Leela. There was a devotee, Kola Vecha Sridhara. We know that example. He was living in so much of poverty-stricken condition. He's not asking for material desires. Rather, Lord is asking, please ask, I want to fulfill your material desires. You don't even have a hut to stay. Your hut is leaking. You don't have proper water pot to drink. Please ask, I'm ready to give you. Please ask. And he's saying no. See the contrast? So, such wonderful examples, such wonderful, examples are there in the scriptures. So this is the kind of bhakti that we must do, that we must perform. It is said that Kolavecha Sridhara's fortune, he was so fortunate because he was so exalted because he was on that platform of devotional service that even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva were not blessed. Even Lord Brahma would, there's one nice verse. Kolavecha Sevakera Kolavecha Sevakera Dekho Bhagya Sima Brahma Shiva Kande Yar Dekhiya Mahima. Even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are crying out of, are seeing his wonderful exalted quality. See his Bhagya. Dhane Jane Panditye Krishna nahi paye Kevala Bhakatir Vashe Chaitanya Gosai. Dhane Jane Panditye Krishna nahi paye. By wealth, you cannot satisfy God. By money, you cannot satisfy Him. By education, you cannot satisfy God by anything. Kevala Bhaktir Vashe. Kevala Bhakti. Srila Prabhupada is Kevala Bhakti Sadma. From that Kevala Bhakti, only a pure devotee can give. Every day we sing in the Guru Puja, Kevala Bhakti. So Kevala Bhaktir Vashe Chaitanya Gosai. So, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmana ishware, bhavatad bhaktir, ahetuki tvai. Ahetuki tvai means bhakti should be causeless. I am not praying to the Lord, I am not doing devotional service for a particular desire to be fulfilled, for a particular motive to be fulfilled. Bhakti should be motiveless, without any cause. Achala bhakti. Another word that is used in Srimad Bhagavatam. Achala is generally used for mountains. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is one word. For Mandara mountain, it is Achala. So just like the mountain cannot be shaken, it is strong, fixed, and huge. So similarly, our bhakti should be like that, strongly fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna without any material desires. Amalaya bhakti. So, I'll read. Prabhupada writes very nicely, what is pure devotion? He says, pure devotion means God should not be bothered. Simply we shall render service. God is great, I am His servant, so my duty is to render service without any profit. Material world means render service, what is my profit? But bhakti means render service without any profit. But then a question will come, no profit? Then Prabhupada writes, the profit is there. What is the profit? To be accepted as God's servant, that is the greatest profit. It's not just a profit, it's the greatest profit. So God should not be bothered, we should simply render service. In that, another place, Prabhupada writes, pure perfection. Now, so we are talking of pure devotional service. Here, Prabhupada is writing, what is perfection of pure devotional service? He says, perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. All attention is diverted towards Him. There's one letter of Srila Prabhupada. I'll read this and then. I am pleased to learn that you are now chanting 16 rounds daily, eating Bhagavad Prasadam, reading Bhagavad Gita, and going on Sankirtan party. All these things will save you, as they will save anyone who persists in Krishna consciousness faithfully and sincerely. So the important mind, we have to persist. So Maya is very powerful. It will not allow us. Mind will go astray. But we just have to be persistent. Do not give it up. Have confidence. It will save you, it will save anyone who persists in Krishna consciousness faithfully and sincerely. Actually, the presence of Maya should not surprise us, because this is the kingdom of Maya. All of the uncountable living entities in the uncountable universes are generally to be found under the stringent grip of Maya's power. So the presence of Maya is not a very wonderful thing. But what is wonderful is when a sincere soul decides to turn away from the attraction of Maya and decides to serve Krishna in pure, unalloyed devotional service. So this is what we should fix our attention to, serving Krishna sincerely. Then automatically the influence of Maya will become nil, and we can remember our eternal loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. But as long as we are attracted by the nonsense glittering of the Maya's call, this pure state of consciousness cannot be realized within the heart. So, these are the teachings of the Bhagavatam to render pure devotional service. And right now, we are all in the state where we are illusioned by Maya. And so if we humbly pray to the Lord, Lord, I am so fool, I am such a like here in the purport, Prabhupada is ending very nicely that is considered a fool with a small quantity of brain substance. So this is how our prayer should be actually. Lord, I am a fool with no brain substance. Elsewhere Prabhupada says, Bhaktivedanta Thakur has written a nice prayer. This is how we should pray. When you pray like this, feelingly, humbly, Krishna is seeing your mood. Are you becoming humble? If you become humble and pray, Krishna will bless you with pure devotional service. So our prayer should be, Bhaktivedanta Thakur has written, Gopinath, Ami to murakha ati. I am not only a fool, I am an excellent fool. Ami to murakha ati. Why I am a murkha? Kishe bhalo hoy, kabhu na bujhino, tai heno mama gati. Kishe bhalo hoy, kabhu na bujhino, tai heno mama gati. I don't know what is good for me. That is why this is my state. Just like a child asking the mother, serve me a cup of poison. So now that we know all these things, we should present ourselves like this humbly at the lotus feet of the Lord, pray for pure devotional service, hanker for pure devotional service, practice pure devotional service, try our best. Maya will be attracting us. Persistently reject, sincerely serve. So if that sincerity is there, if that humility is there in the devotee, Krishna will bless us with pure devotional service. So we'll end here. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.